Good evening, welcome back to In the Late Night Code. This is 17 July 2023, 10:33 p.m. and I'm doing a late session today because better late than never, right? It's been like a trend where I've been letting things go and not recording the sessions, but I'm gonna take that extra little time and do the session and wrap this up before 10:45 because I have to sleep. Now, two things primarily I have to document. One is how to make caps with ridges in Blender. I figured the process of making it, but there is one little thing which is really bugging me is that it takes way too much processing power to process it and like render it. I think there is a fix for it. I don't quite know as of now. And the second thing is obviously my new friend Unreal Engine. Thanks to Nafay Sheikh, now I'm pretty comfortable inside Unreal Engine, and moving forward I have to make a lot of environments and basically beautiful environments and beautiful animations, realistic ones inside of Unreal Engine. You see on my screen I'm trying to figure for the 3D video there was some feedback that we were trying to address, and the liquid at this point is lacking foam, I believe, which is what is making it look unrealistic or weird. So I'm going to try and make foam, and Blender Guru has a tutorial from 9 years ago where he's talking about making beer inside Blender, so I'm sure there's something I can do from this. I also watched the bad tutorials, bad normals tutorial, and this guy explains how to make foam, but for coffee he's restricting it to only Patreon, and I think this is something exactly like what I want. But anyway, let me just quickly show. This thing is what I'm going to show you how to make, like this little cap here, and I'm going to try making it from scratch because yesterday on Sunday, as a matter of fact, I tried making it. I think like I deleted the mesh like 4 or 5 times for making it. Here's my cursor. I have to make something like this. I'm going to come in here and say Shift A mesh circle, tab into edit mode and scale it down. On the left side, you can see the things that I'm doing. In case you're interested in following along, keep it here a little up. And also important to go to the side view and adjust it from the side, because that's not going to happen by default, sir. I'm going to do it. Okay, so once we have that, we have to basically go about traversing this part. So I'm going to come in here and drag this here just for like a reference and go into my X-ray mode. And in this one I made like a bit of a curvature because it seemed like that's the case from the reference, but I don't think that's actually needed. So I'm going to come in here and do it without the curvature. So I'm going to say easy. Okay, so something like this. You come in here and scale it up. You say come in easy here and easy and scale it down. And I'm just gonna press F to fill this in. So with everything selected now, I can come back here, and yes, this looks very basic at this point, but that's all right. That's not something that we're worried about. This as a starting point is something we can very easily reach. Right now, the number of things that I tried doing here is, firstly I was like, okay, I'm gonna come in here and subdivide this and then try adding those ridges here. But the problem with that is you're gonna see a lot of artifacts over here if you have a lot of geometry in one place and lesser geometry in the rest of your mesh. So you want to subdivide the whole thing. I'm going to come in here, select A and say right click subdivide. I'm going to subdivide it like 6 times. We have a bunch of geometry to work with. Now importantly, I do not want to be working on the top ones here. So I'm going to select this loop over here and press H to hide it. And I don't want anything coming in from here, so I'm going to select this loop, press H to hide it. And over here as well, I don't want to be working with the first loop, so I'm going to actually control R to add one more loop here, and then select this loop and H to hide it. So this thing in the middle is what we want to work with. Now the way you do that, and the credit to that is to one of the videos that I had mentioned earlier, but I'm just going to currently show what it is. So you're going to come in here with your vertex edge selection mode. You're going to come in here and select one of these loops. Okay. And you're going to come in here and say edge. There should be some select. Okay. Select and checker deselect. So now every other, again, I'm very confused in vertex and edge, but every other edge is selected here. And then you want to select with Alt Shift, you want to select one of these. Okay. And then you want to come in here and select loops, edge rings. Okay. This gives you something like exactly what you want, right? Because you want to be selecting these and then extruding them out. Now you want to come in here and say Alt H. Oops. Show hide. See, reveal hidden Alt H. Why was it not working? It's because of QI press. I'm not sure. You want to deselect, select. Okay, so once this is done, you want to come in here and say Alt E, extrude face along normals, and you want to take it very slightly out. Okay, not too much, very slightly. Yeah. And now once that is done, here's the tricky part. If you come out here, it's going to look something like this. You can come and try different smoothing. So shade smooth is going to do something like this. Shade auto smooth is going to do this. I know that as a matter of fact I have to add subdiv to this, but let me just keep it at shade auto smooth for the moment, or shade flat, whatever. Importantly, what I want to do is come in here and make this kind of a dip. So let me just try and add a subdiv modifier on this with 2 levels. And this is the problem that I was talking about, where things start to go wacky and you don't exactly know why that they're going wacky. With these many, see, Blender is going not responding, and I'm also recording, so I'm not quite sure. But yeah, the moment you put subdiv on it, this will kind of work out the way it is supposed to. Now what you want to do is you want to say Control R loop cut, and every time when you add a loop cut, it's going to take a lot of time. So I think it's because what subdivision modifier does is it looks at every single vertex and then tries to calculate the distance between things and then move things like up or down or whatever. So I think it's better to just shut subdiv modifier and then work on these. But basically you want to take a loop cut and bring this down. Let me just shut subdiv. Okay, and what you want to do is, now this is like the tedious part here, you're gonna select these and slide them in, okay, to get that little thing there. So this is a manual process where you'll have to select, because I don't think there is a way you can select only these. There might be. I'm doing this manually. Another thing you need to keep in mind is when we use the circle mesh to make things, more often than not the normals, in fact all the time the normals are messed up, which also contributes to some weird artifacts in your overall geometry. खुदी को खुद से मिलाने चला है ओ दीवाने. I think I haven't extruded it out enough, like there's very little gap to play with. Oh my god, when are we gonna reach? The worst part is if I click away somewhere at this point. Okay, I see the shore. I see the shore. Come on. So once that is done, you want to say GG and slide this in. I think that's all that had to be done. If I turn on subdiv, you're gonna get this kind of an indent. Yeah, see, I had taken this a little more out, but yeah, that's that. Yeah, I think this, luckily I just got it right somehow. I'm not quite sure how, but you see this part has a legit seam here, so I'm gonna try and do that. Fine, I'm gonna come in here and say shift in. Shift in is not working. Why are my shortcuts just not working today? It's just taking way too long. So you see this problem, I don't quite know why it's taking so long. And it's also kind of weird that I now see 7,000 faces, but at some point I was seeing 600,000 faces. So I'm not quite sure what is going on here. And just clicking on recalculate normals, it shouldn't normally take so much of a pain, but I think it's optimal display. Auto smoother custom normals, disabling GPU subdivision. I think I have to shut optimal display. Okay, everything's blue. Yep, so this is one way you can make such ridges on caps. I'm gonna not save this file. For the Unreal Engine part, I will try documenting something tomorrow when I have actually made something significant in it, because right now again is going to be a bit weird where I don't really have anything much to document. So that is that, and I'm going to stop the documentation session here. Thanks so much for being in the code. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.